YouTube, I'm back. It's been a long time, over a year, but I've been watching all my regular subscriptions that I've been having, and I've just got this overwhelming urge to come back to YouTube, and I'm back. I have my daughter. She will be 14 months on the 15th. If you watched the past videos that I put out, I said I wanted to do a natural birth, and I got to do my natural birth. It turned out to be an accidental home birth, but I hate to call it accidental because it seriously was a wonderful experience. She was healthy, and I didn't have to go through any medical interventions, and I did it, and I feel amazing about that. And seriously, the feelings that overcome you after having an uninterrupted birth are truly amazing. So I'll go and I'll make this video explaining about the details in detail as much as I can on YouTube about my home birth. My birth partner, doula they call them, wanted me to go to the hospital around 8 centimeters. She said I could go at 6 if I wanted to, but preferably 8. And so, yeah, I was in early labor for a couple of days. Nothing was happening, and it was really amazing because my first birth that I had with my first daughter was totally medicalized. Like, I had an epidural right from the beginning because the anesthesiologist was going to go on Easter holiday, and the doctor wanted him to get me so that would be over with. So I didn't really get to ever feel what a contraction felt like, and this time, you know, it was nice because I got to feel that. I mean, I'm saying nice, but in the beginning, they're, of course, like, they're not even painful. They're just, like, you just feel like tightness or whatever. Your stomach just gets kind of tight, and you feel like pressure a little bit. And then, you know, they get worse. And there was definitely a point where I was like, oh gosh, if this is, because my labor went so fast, and I wasn't even expecting that, and I was thinking that I was just, like, in the start of the hard part when I started feeling them, and I probably was near the end when I was feeling them. They were pretty intense. But it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable. It's something, you know, I believe that, you know, we are capable of. So I was having early contractions for a couple of days, and on like the third day, they were painless, like I said, and then on the third day they started to get a little bit of pain to them, just like, you know, not enough pain to be like, oh, just enough pain to be like, something's happening. And so I called my midwife and my doula. She really was, but I told her, you know, that they're starting to get a little something, and she said to keep her updated. And I picked up my daughter from school, and it was probably about like 3 o'clock or so. I went home, and they started to pick up even more, and I told her that they were picking up even more, and she told, you know, alright, call me back when you want me to come over. And I was just going around the house, cleaning like crazy. I made dinner, and I called my sister to come over, so, because I had a feeling that, you know, it was going to happen sometime within the next day. I had a feeling, and my sister was going to be my go-to girl to watch my daughter. So I called her up and told her to come over, and when she came over is when they started, like, I was watching a movie with my daughter, and I was timing my contractions, and they were every 5 minutes apart. And I was waiting. I was like, oh, another one's going to come up. Oh, here it comes. And then, but I remember sometime between when I was timing them, they weren't coming every 5 minutes. They went from 5 minutes to back, probably 30 seconds apart. And then that's where they got really intense. And I told my doula to come over. She's like, do you want to meet me at the hospital? And I said, no, just come over, because I was expecting labor to just be horrendous, and I just thought this was the beginning. You know, that's the mindset that people want you to think. Not want you to think, but that's what we view labor as, like, unbearable. You know what I mean? So I just thought I was in the beginning of it. But so my midwife, my doula, was on her way. My sister came over. She picked up my daughter, and I was laboring really well. And my sister, when my sister was there, like, me and my sister, I'm sure this is genetic, we are really sensitive to people's emotions, and I could see from her face that she, like, I must have been, you know, in pain or whatever. She, like, every time I'd have contraction, I was like, oh no, and, like, I was like, oh, you know, in so much pain, and then I could see her like, face was like, like, she, like, didn't know what to do. She's like, oh my goodness. And but she took my daughter, and then I was just sitting here laboring. Like, they were, like, on top of each other. I would walk around a little bit, and then another one would come, and then I'd just drop to the ground, and then come back up. You know, that was the only way I could find relief, just dropping to the ground. And I just kept walking around my house, you know, cursing. And then, I normally don't curse, but yeah, they're pretty, you know, they're painful, but like I said, you can do it. You can do it. If you're wanting to do a natural birth, I heard so many negative things when I said I was going to sit up for a natural birth. I heard, oh, I did that, but you know what, you know, just get the epidural, and, you know, because it's, you know, it's not worth it, but it is worth it, trust me, because I think it's probably a different experience at the hospital than at home. You're just in a better mindset and everything. I could go on and on about this, but so yes, after it seemed like an eternity, my doula, she turned into be my midwife. She is a midwife, so I'll just call her my midwife. I could see her coming up the steps, and I was like, oh, thank God. She got there, and I'm like, oh, you know, and then I was having, she's like, I'm like having contraction, and I dropped on the ground. She's like, she told me I labored like some of the Amish women that she delivers, and I was like, I need to go to the bathroom, and she's like, okay, and then I was going to the bathroom, and, like, she could sense that, you know, I didn't have to go to the bathroom. Like, that was the baby, like, you know, it was, you know, coming out, basically.